Okay, today we're going to do a full service and cleaning of the Kingman chaser. If you have your Kingman chaser manual, simply follow along with the instructions, because that's basically what I'm going to do. And we'll show you all the small parts and pieces and how they come apart, so you can get a preview before you take it apart yourself. And you'll notice, if you look closely, mine is fairly painted up, so we'll have plenty of cleaning to demonstrate. So the first thing we'll do is do a little bit of wipe down on the outside. And for the time being, we'll put the safety plug in as instructed. Okay, and then the first thing is we're going to be taking out this screw right here. See if I can give you a little better close-up of that. That screw right there. And if you'll notice on the back, there's a nut. So when we take that screw out, that nut's going to fall out. I'll show you that in a second. There we go. Take that screw out right there. You'll see the screw didn't really move anywhere because the nut's laying down there. So we'll carefully set that aside. Flip this over and just give that a little press. And that'll let us take this screw right out. Slide this forward. Now the first thing you're going to see is there is a spring that we have to make sure that we don't lose. You can see the spring right there. Slide this forward, and there's your spring. And that spring rides in this channel right there. So let's give that a little wipe. Wipe out the inside of the slide block. Set that aside. And we'll wipe down the slide channel as well. Finer piece for these smaller channels. And that's going to reveal the ball detent plates on either side. And that's what we'll take apart next and check the condition of the ball detents, which hold the paintball in place. Okay, so two helpful tips for you here. I'm going to show you this ball detent and this plate. Give you a nice good close-up. Now, you can see that screw is brass, and it does like to scour pretty easily. So, to score, I'm sorry. And so to get that out, you do want to find the right size blade. You can see the screwdriver is pretty long, but it's the blade size that fits in there just right that makes it come out fairly easily. And then I'm going to also show you how to take that plate out and show you the ball detent underneath. But to get the plate out, another helpful tool is to have a tweezers. Just makes it easier so you're not smacking it against your hand and trying to get the thing out and then you lose it. So we'll show you that right now. That blade fits right in there, just nice and easy. And then we'll pick the plate out with the tweezers. And you can see your nice messy ball detent under there. And again, tweezers is nice for picking out this ball detent. As you can see, that ball detent is in fairly good shape. So we're just going to clean that and replace it. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Q-tips are also handy in this situation for cleaning out that fine area. And of course, we'll try and wipe down this plate. Down the ball detent as well. Now your kit should have come with new ball detents, so if you see that your ball detent is damaged or flattened, go ahead and replace it at this point. But in my case, just for the sake of this cleaning, I'm just going to put this right back. Back on. Wiping down the little screw. Put that back in. Flush, tight. the other side and do that one as well. And then just for the sake of this step, at this point, if the ball detents are all you're after, then you would simply take the spring and lay it back in its position. Hold it upside down so that it stays in place. Slide that back on. And then you can put the screw back in. And you're done with that step. But we're going to continue from here. So next, to get inside the trigger housing, we're going to remove these two trigger housing, trigger frame screws. One right there and one right there. As you're about to see, this will be where the bulk of our mess is going to be. So we'll give that a good cleaning. And we'll give this a good cleaning as well. And just to show you another helpful thing while doing the cleaning is that this inner insert right here does come out, allowing you access to wipe the inside down and get in there with a Q-tip and get the rest of that out, and then clean the insert as well. Just make sure that when you reinsert it, you inserted the proper orientation, and you'll be able to tell because that hole down there won't line up properly if you put it in backwards. You can actually see there that the hole's not lined up right. Whereas if we put it in the right way, the hole will be lined up correctly. You can also remove the front pressure adjustment screw, the cover for the pressure adjuster. just to be able to get that last bit of basically the spray out of that, and I'll show you that here in a second. Let's see if you can see down there. Well, you'll notice that there is some spray inside there that will get cleaned out. Doing a simple swab like that. Then, of course, if you have compressed air, it's a good time to use your nozzle to give it a good blowout, and then we're ready to reassemble. Put the pressure adjuster back on, and you just have to align that screw. Which can be a little tricky if it wants to be. Make sure that's nice and tight. Put the retainer back in, and the sleeve back in. And just make sure it's lined up like we discussed. And from there, you can put the trigger back on. Tighten that down. Pin back in. Close it up. Again, lay the slider in the spring. Hold it upside down. Slide that back on. Then we'll take this nut that goes right there. Drop that into place. Put the screw in from the other side. And I'm just holding the nut with my finger so that it threads. Once it threads, it'll lock into place. Feel it coming through. That's good. You can save that mistake. So we'll pop that back out. That screw has to go between the pin bolt and that back block that the spring sits on. That way you can cock it. And there you have it. We're all cleaned up and ready for action again. Finally, the last thing that we can do is clean up one of our messy clips. So we'll just take the screw out here at the bottom. Take the retainer off, pull the spring out. Get the pin to come out. Give it a good wipe down. Make sure we get that. Use a Q-tip to make sure that all that stuff is out there. Run our swab through it. Now I've actually rinsed these in water to make sure that this gets out, but if you do that, you have to make sure that you let it dry thoroughly or blow it off with air, and then put a little bit of 3-in-1 oil or gun oil depending on what you have, just to make sure that that connection doesn't get corroded. Clean the pin. Spring a little attention. And then reassemble.